In this section, I'm going to cover some of the functions available to you on the EOS built-in touchscreens because there are many functions that are accessed in this area of the console. I want to first draw your attention to the lower portion of the right-hand screen, and that's where your CIA is going to be. The CIA, or Central Information Area, is really an extension of the keyboard, so there's actually a lot of information that will show up there in the CIA, so pay special attention to that. The CIA is typically divided into two parts when it's not in use for a special function, the right-hand side being the browser. If you don't see the browser, you can always hit the Displays key, which is just to the right of the CIA, and that will bring the browser up. And the browser contains a lot of the setup options in the EOS, so just know how to get there. The other thing that the touchscreens are used for quite frequently are the direct select modules. Now, what the direct select modules are button arrays, and what we have in our console set up is we have three different sections of direct selects. The top portion of my right-hand display is set up as a direct select module without one of the button overlays. They're completely optional. You can decide if you want them or not. Now, the left-hand touch screen actually has one of the button overlays in it. The console paints the content of the button behind. It also gives you a tactile response, and you can also do things like rest your finger on the button so that you can activate a function if timing is critical. In this arrangement, too, the direct selects can be paged or actually configured to be in banks of 20, 4 banks of 20, 2 banks of 50, or even a 100 button array. So you have a lot of options there. Another section of the built-in displays I want to draw your attention to is the bottom row along both displays. On the right-hand display, it's where your soft keys are, and there's a more soft key button as well down here in the right-hand corner that will page between the two soft key pages. If there are soft key functions that are available to you on a second page, they'll be above the current loaded set and they'll be grayed out slightly. And the bottom row of buttons on my left-hand display are what are called the load buttons, and those address special functions that are really designed for the fader that is directly in line with that load button, and we'll talk about some of those in different parts of the training. So once you're familiar with the functions of the built-in displays on the EOS, you'll find that there are a lot of things on these displays that make your programming a lot easier.